Welcome. I'm Michael Cloud. I'm the pastor here at the Ohio Street United Methodist Church in Butler, Missouri. We're so excited that you're thinking about joining us for a Sunday morning service. We thought it'd be a great idea to make a video to kind of walk you through what a typical Sunday at Ohio Street would look like. So we're located at 205 West Ohio Street, which is just off of our historic downtown square here in Butler. So when you find us on Ohio Street here, again, and just right off the square, both of our entrances are right here up front. So as you come to the front of the church, enter in either door. It's okay. There will be a bulletin sitting there right by the door for you to take and pick up and look at. There will also be an usher walking around who's wearing a mask who will hand you a bulletin if you can't find one. Okay, so we have a foyer right here, right on the in front of our worship space, and that's a time where we can gather and kind of congregate and talk to one another and drink some coffee. Of course, if we're out here, we're encouraging the mask wearing and the distancing to take place. Again, if you're drinking coffee, you can't exactly be having your mask on at that time, but that's okay. You are more than welcome to come into our worship space that you see here behind me at any time during the morning. Come sit down, find a pew. Right? We are encouraging again with the distancing that you skip a pew. Right, so if you just be mindful, if we see somebody sitting there, we kind of don't sit directly in front of or behind where somebody else is already sitting, but we've got plenty of space for everyone. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the stuff you would see in your bulletin as you join us on Sunday morning. So first off, we've got this thing on the side called the stub, and it rips right off. It's a place you can give us your information. You can also share with us any prayer concerns that you might have, and we could stay in contact with each other that way. All right, we just fold that up. And now here we are, and this is a list of our service, and we're going to walk through what that may look like. I'll go ahead and set this down here. So we're going to start with an opening song. Let me just say real quick, Ohio Street has what they call a blended service, and all that means is that we do both contemporary music with a band and also traditional style hymns with a piano or an organ. We kind of have both of those during our worship time, and so we'll open with our band, that opening song. It reminds me of those gathering songs that the African spirituals that they used to do out in the fields to alert everybody that it was time for worship, that a worship service was taking place. And so this kind of alerts everybody who's out on the foyer or wherever they may be that service is starting, to go ahead and come on in to the worship space. It also allows those who are joining us online, we do Facebook Live at 9 o'clock. I guess that would be important, right? Our services start at 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings. And so yeah, we'll go live on Facebook at that time as well. Okay, so it gives people, that gathering song, it gives people online time to find us and get to the service, and then it gathers those who are here present with us in person. After that gathering song, I'll go up and I'll make some announcements, and those generally just kind of include our midweek programmings, things that are going to come up this next week in the life of our church, and also in the life of our community here in Butler, and ways that we're involved in our community and ways we serve the people of this town. After announcements, our band plays about 3 more praise songs, 2 or 3 more praise songs, and gets us good and ready to worship the Lord. After that, as the band comes down, we have a time of sharing our joys and our concerns. We believe that God cares both about your joys and also your concerns, and so we care about both your joys and your concerns. And that's a time for people in our congregation to quite literally call out anything that they may be going through, any prayers they want to share with us, or any concerns that they may want to make us aware of so that we can pray for them. That time leads into our pastoral prayer, which is a time where I give kind of a communal prayer for our community, both here in the church and in Butler, and what's happening in the life of both of those things. After that we have the pastoral prayer, and it kind of leads right into, I'll just kind of bleed right into the Lord's Prayer. You may or may not be familiar with it. It's okay. If you're not, we'd love to teach it to you. But if you've heard it before, it's the Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's the Lord's Prayer. And then after the Lord's Prayer, we have a time of scripture reading and reflection with a sermon. And so our scripture readings, we will have one of our congregation members, come up and read a passage out of the Old Testament. And then I will come up and read a passage out of the New Testament. and then we have a sermon that kind of connects. Sometimes we'll connect both of those readings, and sometimes we'll focus on one of those readings kind of more intently over the other, sometimes the old, sometimes the new. But our aim here, kind of the scope, is to look at, what do the scriptures say? What did it mean back then? What does it mean for us today? And how should we be trying to apply this to our lives? What does it mean for us in this present time? And how is the Lord speaking to us today? After the sermon, we have a closing hymn, and that will be done, again, largely with our hymnals. We'll pull out our hymnals, and the organ or the piano will be played, and we'll join in kind of that more traditional style music. But I'm told everybody loves it. Nobody wants to take that away. We like to remember where we've come from, not just where we are now. I will say that at this time we are collecting offerings. Please do not feel obligated to give an offering, but we do tie that back into the church. All those funds go back into the church, and we believe God's going to bless it, and He's going to. We ask Him to teach us how to use it to further His kingdom and our life of ministry here at the church. But those offering plates will be positioned at the doors as you leave. We're not passing it for COVID and kind of sanitation reasons at this time. It's also a place for you to drop your stub, to give us your contact information. If that's all you want to leave with us, that's perfectly fine. I will say that once a month we do Holy Communion. We have communion services on the first Sunday of every month. Now, let me just say, we believe that is the Lord's table, not a Methodist table. You do not have to be a member of our church to partake in communion. You do not have to be a United Methodist to partake with us in communion. That table belongs to the Lord, and so all who are seeking a relationship with the Lord are welcome. Our service during that time, the order looks a little different. We've got a little bit of a different order, but all the same elements that we just talked about are present somewhere in that service. And so it jars you a little bit. It kind of perks you up to pay a little bit more attention to, wait, something's different today. Well, right, we're taking communion with Jesus. But everything we've done is there, and so it's new, but it's familiar all at the same time. Okay, so again, we're looking forward to see you. We're so excited that you're going to come and join us. We just offer you a blessing of peace, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.